Hello and welcome to Sincerely Elvis Presley. I'm Sean. If you're new to the channel, thanks for tuning in. And if you're not, thanks for returning. I appreciate it. Well, after much delay, procrastination, beating around the bush, going around the houses, and every other cliche you can think of, we finally arrive at the landmark that is That's the Way It Is. And what a landmark. I was thinking before I sat down today about the first time I saw That's the Way It Is, and I can't quite recall if it was just prior to Elvis passing or just afterwards. So I guess the window I would be somewhere between 10 and 12, I think, the first time I saw it. I was familiar with the material from it because I had the album, but seeing it in motion, I clearly remember waiting with anticipation for it to start, and then the opening credits with Elvis at the side, the shots cutting in with Mystery Train Tiger Man and the strobe hitting him with his name coming down, and my jaw just dropping and staying dropped for the rapt attention for the entire broadcast. And it was those days obviously when, in the same way that when you went to the cinema, you watched it and then you had to hold it in your head because that's it. You couldn't watch it back again. It was the next time you were lucky enough to see it, that was all you had was your memory of it. So much different to that today, of course, when we can watch it anytime we like. And of course, when we do watch it now, we can see the special edition that was released in 2001, where they re-edited it, cut in lots of extra footage and created more of a sort of concert documentary feel with from start to finish flowing through with the tracks. And for many, including myself, the special edition is the definitive version of That's the Way It Is. Originality aside, it basically tops the original in every single way. Well, apart from one for me, it doesn't include I Just Can't Help Believing, which for me was always the standout song from That's the Way It Is. So a bit of a minus mark for me for not having that. I understand that they said that apparently the cameras that were filming Elvis during the summer season in Vegas weren't always recording every bit of every shot, every song. So apparently for I Just Can't Help Believing, they didn't have a full performance or enough of it to be able to edit together a performance. When you watch You've Lost That Loving Feeling, Elvis starts with his back to the audience, and you can see when the collar of his jumpsuit doesn't have the conchos on it, and when he turns around, it does. So obviously they had enough of that performance and others to stitch them together to make a whole song, but apparently with I Just Can't Help Believing, they didn't have enough to do that, which is a shame, a real shame. And it's a shame they couldn't have found a way around it, because to me that song has always been integral to the movie. But other than that misstep, the special edition really is the way to go. And if you're going to watch the special edition, you've got to watch it on Blu-ray. If you've got a high definition TV or even an ultra high definition TV and you don't have a Blu-ray player, do yourself a favour and treat yourself to one. The difference between standard definition and high definition is night and day. The picture quality is so much better, the sound so much better. It's just well worth investing in a Blu-ray player if you don't have one, and they're not too pricey these days. I think I said a while back that only 30 to 40% of Elvis's films are available on Blu-ray. I had a look, and actually that's not true. With the recent release of Harem Scarum, that takes us to 19 titles available on Blu-ray, so that pushes us nearer to 60% of the 33. So it's well worth investing in Blu-ray. And if you're gonna watch That's the Way It Is, for me, this is the version to have. This was the special edition of the special edition that came out. I think it was a US release only, but it came with this on the back. So this sort of told you what you were getting. And yeah, you get a really nice little hardback case. You get your 2 discs. So what you get in is the special edition on Blu-ray in high definition, and you do get the original theatrical release. Now that is a DVD, that is in standard definition. I know some have complained that that could have been a Blu-ray and they could have upped the quality of that. I'm not that fussed, to be honest with you. It's a nice little artifact to have, but my go-to to watch it is always going to be the special edition. So I'm not actually that bothered that that you don't get the theatrical version in high definition. But what you do get on this nice little presentation is a 40-page booklet. I think it says here, includes beautiful 40-page book with rarely seen concert photos and backstage glimpses into Elvis's life. And you know, it's a nice little addition to a standard disc, as you get your little booklet, bits and pieces of information. It's just an all-round nice nice presentation to have. I'm not sure how easy it is to pick up this this special edition of it. When it came out, it had a bit of an advert for visiting Graceland put in it as well. But yeah, really nice to have the special edition version if you can get your hands on it. So yeah, funny enough, when the special edition was first released, it did have a limited cinema run, and my wife and I went to see it and sat down expectantly looking forward to the film, and it was in the wrong ratio. So rather than widescreen, they were transmitting it, everything was all stretched and bits were missing off the top and bottom, and my wife actually had to go out, find where the projectionist's booth was and tell them that they were broadcasting it into the wrong ratio, and he had to put it right. But you don't expect to do that when you have to go to the cinema and tell them how they should be showing it. Just adds to the overall lack of respect sometimes that Elvis gets from the general public. But hey, let's have a look at some books now. There's some hefty volumes here, so we might have quite a bit of camera wobble, and I do apologise. But the first one that we've got isn't so hefty. What we have here is the very first foray into books that Follow That Dream had. So this was 2001, and it's The Way It Was, an audiovisual documentary by Sheriff Hannah and Ernst Michael Jorgensen himself. So a 96-page journey through the making of That's the Way It Is, an immaculate collection of both rare and classic photographs in black and white colour, including a 75-minute CD containing music from each of the recorded events, primarily focusing on previously unreleased material. So there's your disc. Let me see if I can share with you what's on that disc, if I can get that close enough to the camera. So that's what you get on the CD. And as it said on the back, it's only 96 pages, so it was their first toe in the water into books for FTD, so not quite up to the levels of the luxury packages we've seen in recent years. Nice little addition to your collection. Is it essential? Could you live without it? I mean, to me, anything on That's the Way It Is essential, but you know, if I was recommending to someone the best books to get, this probably wouldn't be up there at the top of the list. It's good. It's nice to have. You can probably still pick it up. I think you're probably looking £50 to £70 mark to grab a nice copy of this. But I clearly remember getting this at the time and not being blown away by it. It's good, but I wouldn't say it was essential. But you know, if you can find it cheap enough and you haven't got it in your collection, still worth adding. Okay, so now we move on to Eric Lawrenson's first hefty 3-book set. We have Elvis Summer Festival, That's the Way It Was, and this really is extremely heavy. So we've got a 3-book set, and we also got with it a nice little folio of bonus photographs suitable for framing, as they say. Nicely put together. Nice print quality. So a nice little extra addition to have your 18 bonus photographs. Right, so I will extricate the 3 volumes from the whopping great slipcase. We'll have a little look what's on offer. Oh, I've managed to get them in reverse order. So, volume 1, the MGM rehearsals. Now, these can still be picked up. I believe you're looking around the £200 mark for this first set, which for 3 thumping, hefty books represents pretty good value, I think. And they really are hefty volumes. These are, it has to be said, a complete and utter photo record of That's the Way It Is. So, and I must admit, initially sometimes I was sceptical. Well, are we just going to get loads and loads of still captures from the film itself? But no, clearly when Elvis was rehearsing, when he was on stage, not only were the cameras rolling, but they obviously had banks of photographers capturing him, because you'd tell if these were nothing but captures from the film itself, and they're not. So this is a beautiful volume, and if you love That's the Way It Is as much as I do, I'd say, you see, now the graininess on those, you probably can't see that on through the camera here, that says to me that they probably are captures. I would say they are captures from the film itself, because they don't have the level of clarity that some of the others do have. But by and large, you know, you get all the negative contact sheets, and then photographs picked out from there. So it's just a feast for the eyes, really, of That's the Way It Is. Absolutely fantastic stuff. So there we go, volume 1, the MGM rehearsals. Now, volume 2 is the Las Vegas rehearsals and opening night. So more of the same, just packed with photographs. A visual treasure, capturing for me probably the definitive Elvis documentary film. Much as I love Elvis on tour, for me, I think That's the Way It is my favourite. I think it captures Elvis a lot sort of freer and looser than Elvis on tour does. Yeah, I prefer That's the Way It Is. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think they're both of an equal footing? Is your favourite Elvis on tour? Let me know. But yeah, another great volume. Just great stuff. So you do get a bit of text, but not a tremendous amount in these, has to be said, which, you know, it's not necessarily a bad thing. You go through the songs performed in that season, So there is volume 2. We've got lots of photographs from opening night and the fringe jumpsuit. Volume 2. There we go. And then volume 3, the concerts. And as you expect, absolutely packed with photographs from the rest of the 5 concerts, if we've already had opening night, that were filmed to inform That's the Way It Is documentary. So really nice. Can't go wrong really. Another of those periods where, for me, you just drink them in. It's just absolutely brilliant stuff. So yeah, well worth getting hold of. A little bit pricey, but for what you're getting, I don't think it's too bad at all. You know, you are getting a lot of bang for your buck, as they say. We'll get some nice candids as well. You know me and my candids. I'm not convinced, no. There we go. That is the Phoenix concert, September the 9th. There's something about the shots from that that particular concert that you can always really tell somehow that it's from there. So that's after the summer season. We looked at that in an earlier episode, but I wonder if this has been included because so many of the shots were used on the back cover of the That's the Way It Is album, which I think before I said was 8. I think it's more like 12, maybe even 14 little black and white photographs on the back of that cover. So yeah, this is highly recommended. Highly recommended. But what happened, I believe Eric Lawrenson then got hold of a load more negatives, and so he then put out volumes 4 and 5. Now I'm going to say I'm not sure I'd have done that, because I think it starts feeling a little bit like overkill, and I know that's a strange thing to say, you know, how can you have too much of That's the Way It Is, but these 2 volumes, I think these came in at about the £150 mark for the 2, and they're just by this stage, to me, you know, I'm glad I've got them in my collection, but I wouldn't recommend them as an essential purchase to anyone, these 2, because, you know, it does all start feeling a little bit deja vu to me. I'm not sure they're offering anything different enough to justify an extra volume. You did get, with this, another set of photographs. This time we got 12, suitable for framing. So that was a nice addition. But yeah, I don't, you know, I feel if I'm going to be holding these up, it is going to feel like rinse and repeat, because they're not really doing anything different to volumes 1 to 3. It's this one, a photographic document part 2. And actually, anybody that's thinking, well, you know, that's all well and good, but if I was to buy the first one, that's what, £200+, then, you know, it's £350 for the whole lot. There is a single volume paperback folio gathering together the best photographs from all of the volumes, and that can be had for the £50–60 mark. So, you know, if it feels like a tremendous outlay, and it is a tremendous cost outlay, there is an alternative where you can basically get the best of them all in one handy volume. So, you know, if you are interested and are thinking this feels a little bit out of reach, then there is an alternative that's hopefully, you know, a little more pocket friendly. Yeah, and you know, this volume, a lot of the shots are just sort of grainy at a distance, a bit blurry. So I've got to say, I'm not going to give a high recommendation to the second 2-volume set. I think it's a little bit inessential. So unfortunately, I can't give that a categoric recommendation, but certainly the first 3-volume set, absolutely highly recommend. And then the final one that I'm just going to have a very quick look at, this has been featured on a number of people's channels. I've shown it in great detail, so I'm not going to cover it in too much depth. But this is the Follow That Dream 50th anniversary set. So with this, you get CDs of the rehearsals. Now, this will show you the difference, how far Follow That Dream came with their books compared to That's the Way It Is, the first one we looked at. Look at the luxury on offer here. So yeah, you get CDs of all the rehearsals, and then you get 2 thumping great volumes. Firstly, showing you the rehearsals. You have to be very careful with these ones because the inside of the cover does tend to crease quite easily. So yeah, hopefully that shows what a considerable contrast there is between the original That's the Way It Is book from Follow That Dream and this 50th anniversary 2-book set, which is just a luxurious volume. And I have to say, as is always the case with Follow That Dream, that the quality of the print of the photographs is better than anyone else can do. It's definitely better than Des Lawrenson sets. The level of clarity they managed to get out of the printing. But yeah, this set isn't cheap by any means. I mean, we are talking, if you're lucky, I'd say anywhere between £300 and £500 if you're lucky to get hold of a copy of this these days. And you can still pick them up brand new sealed, but they are going to be pricey. They are fantastic sets, don't get me wrong. They really are. We've got this, the first one was rehearsals, second book is the concerts, and you know, just glorious, just glorious. Follow That Dream label's got the reputation it has for a reason, and you know, although the prices of the books go through the roof, you know, you are getting super quality, you know, pretty much without exception. You know, the level of sheen and luxury that they stamp on their books is to be commended, undoubtedly. So yeah, have to give this a high recommendation. See, there we are. I bet we're in Phoenix, September the 9th there again, because it's the green scarf. So I think these always end up featured in books on That's the Way It Is, because it was really close to the end of that season when he went back out on the road, and as I say, a lot of these pictures ended up on the rear of the That's the Way It Is cover. But yeah, undoubtedly that's Phoenix. So there we go. If you can get your hands on it, especially if you find it at a reasonable price and you don't have it, would definitely recommend this set. If it was just a case of one book set that encapsulated that's the way it is, then it'd have to be this one, followed by the 3-volume Summer Festival set by Eric Lawrenson, and then I might even put the original The Way It Was, Follow That Dream, above the second Summer Festival Lawrenson set, because as I say, I can kind of understand if you get hold of a lot of extra negatives and sort of want everyone to be able to access them and see them, but there's something about that second book set that just feels absolutely superfluous to me. It's not an essential, I don't think. So that's all the books that sort of just focus on That's the Way It Is. I must admit, I did box myself into a little corner with this 1970 series, because by trying to steer away from That's the Way It Is, it's almost an impossible task, because any book on 1970 is going to feature it. So although I wanted to focus primarily on them in one episode, and in the next episode I'll look at the recordings around it, in some ways I wish I'd just gone for it for the whole lot and not try to box myself in a corner. But hey ho, you live and learn. So there's all the books, and of course the fabulous Blu-ray disc of the movie itself. Next time I'll have a look at some of the recordings of That's the Way It Is and bits and pieces that I have. But thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, then please do click on the like, and if you haven't already, please do click on the subscribe. It's absolutely free, there's no commitment at all. I upload new content every Sunday at 6 PM GMT, so you'll always know when to find me. Next time, let's have a look at some That's the Way It Is recordings together. Till then, take care. Ta-da.
We'll meet you again. May God bless you. Adios.